The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie.
A debate heating up at the state capitol over a bill that would prevent some people from buying land in Texas. A tanker truck crashed and exploded in Maryland, igniting a nearby neighborhood and giving off a plume of smoke that could be seen for miles.
After a really beautiful and warm weekend, we'll show you a big pattern change that looms and what that means for next weekend.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Rush. We start tonight with a body found in Lady Bird Lake. Austin police responded to West Riverside Drive just before 10 this morning, where the body of an adult was in the water. Authorities have not released any information other than that the victim was an adult, but they did not say anything more about the victim or how they ended up in the lake. This is a developing story. You can find the very latest at KXAN.com. A man accused of firing a gun more than a dozen times into an apartment building overnight has been captured. San Marcos police say surveillance footage shows the suspect firing 13 rounds from a handgun into a building. It happened at the Cottages of Hillside Ranch, a Texas state student housing complex. Police say the apartment building was occupied, but no one inside was hurt. Police have not released the suspect's identity, but say he faces several felony charges. A demonstration at the Capitol today addressed two deadly police shootings, one involving Alex Gonzalez in 2021, another involving Rajan Munasinga in November last year. In January, officers were cleared of wrongdoing in Gonzalez's case.
We want to make sure that his name is not forgotten. I think it's really important that we keep the momentum on these issues.
Others who walked past the protest downtown spoke to us in support of the police department. The investigation into Munasinga's case is still ongoing. A state senator is pushing to limit land sales to some immigrants from China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, citing national security concerns. And now debate is heating up at the Texas Capitol about who gets to own a piece of Texas. Ryan Chandler has the latest.
Signing this bill into law will damage our foundation of the American spirit.
More than 100 people, mostly Chinese Americans, stood against a bill they say would end their American dream.
SB 147 and SB 711 are a slap on my face. It scoffs at me. Sorry, you're not Texan.
Senate Bill 147 would have banned all citizens of China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea from buying any property in Texas.
Also to address the concerns that you're seeing across our nation. You've seen North Dakota, several other states taking action, Florida, Virginia most recently, in protecting land holdings against what we would say are truly hostile governments.
State Senator Lois Kolkhorst introduced a new version of the bill, which she says will address the concerns heard in committee. SB 147 now exempts legal permanent residents from the ban on buying land. But even gaining that status can take years.
How do you respond to the critics who worry that people who are in the process of trying to become somebody who would be exempt from this bill, and in that time cannot buy a home or lay that base for their families?
So, Ryan, I'm very sympathetic about that, and that's why I made another change to the bill that said that you can buy a home. You do not have to be a legal permanent resident or a citizen.
Some worry still, though, that any bill which applies to people based on their national origin could violate the Texas Constitution.
Discrimination on the basis of national origins is a violation of these values.
And the debate will continue. The new version of the bill was left pending in committee on Thursday. Ryan Chandler, KXAN News.
Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Congressman Michael McCall have voiced their support for Senator Kolkhorst's bill. McCall, who is the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, says he is concerned about foreign entities buying land in Texas.
First warning weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Despite the cloudy start with some areas of fog, we turned things around in a hurry here by late morning, and the afternoon was just another gorgeous one. 77 from our Rock and Dirt Yard camera in Buda under beautiful blue skies. Upper 70s for many of us right now. Low 80s in the hill country. We did manage just about to reach 80 in Austin, and you can see mainly clear skies, just a few high thin cirrus clouds floating through the sky here this evening. I do expect temperatures drop back into the 60s in a hurry, low 70s by 7, and then it's 60s by about 8 o'clock onwards, 67 at 9 and 65 here at 11 on what should be a fairly mild night ahead, although I wouldn't call it a warm one. Coming up in First Warning Weather, we're going to track a clouds to sunshine pattern that you're going to notice a lot for the work week ahead, as well as the returning significant humidity that you'll start to feel and may make you feel uncomfortable from time to time. Also an update on our next cold front and how that's going to make you feel into next weekend and beyond.
Thanks, Nick. Well, it was a chaotic scene in suburban Maryland yesterday after a tanker truck carrying flammable liquids overturned and exploded. One person is dead and multiple homes are damaged. NBC's Marissa Parra reports.
Look at this.
A terrifying scene in this Maryland neighborhood.
This is insane.
A towering inferno looming over homes. Videos from up close show its intensity. It all started when a tanker truck on a nearby highway overturned and exploded.
One tanker truck hauling flammable liquid completely engulfed in flames.
The powerful flames and heat damaging multiple homes and cars nearby. The smoke could be seen for miles, shutting down that highway in both directions for hours.
This is a scary day.
The driver of the truck did not survive, but authorities say no one else was hurt.
It sounds like every fire truck and ambulance in this county is responding to it.
Laura Harrison and her family live so close they heard the explosions from inside their home.
It's just out of a movie. It was ridiculous. Didn't know what it was.
My eyes started burning and I was like, we're done, get in the house.
You could definitely feel the heat coming off it. You could smell it. It smelled like a gasoline.
Authorities tonight say the fires and toxins are contained and pose no environmental threat, which offers small comfort to those who live here.
I have a lot of trust, but when it comes to my son's safety, there's only so far trust goes.
Marissa Parra reporting. Well, have you noticed your car insurance rates going up? Still to come, why the prices are soaring, how long it's expected to last, and what you can do to offset the costs. Also, a promising tool in fighting high cholesterol. There's a new option that appears to have fewer side effects. You may have noticed the cost of car insurance lately has been skyrocketing, and it's taking a bigger bite out of family budgets. Miguel Almaguer on why rates are rising and how to find the best one.
For Americans behind the wheel across the country, all roads lead to the same place, skyrocketing insurance rates. According to Bankrate.com, U.S. drivers are now paying more than $2,000 more a year for premiums. A drastic acceleration, rates up roughly 14% from last year.
Were you surprised to see your premium increase so much?
I was because I'm a safe driver.
Raul Yohas, who drives more than 100 miles every day, says his new bill gave his young family sticker shock.
Every single month we do our numbers, we budget, and then all of a sudden I'm out $800, $1,000 a month, and I have a son, we have to buy diapers, and that was just money that just poof, disappeared.
With the average household now paying nearly 3% of their income just on car insurance, premiums in congested cities like Orlando and Phoenix are revving up. In cities where cars are king, rates are shifting into record territory.
Why are car insurance rates skyrocketing so quickly?
It really has to do with the inflation that we saw in 2022. These car insurance companies are still reacting to that environment.
Citing costly repairs, more accidents, and an increase in thefts, insurance companies say the approved rate hikes are here for the foreseeable future.
To keep your bill in check, experts say shop around. Reduce your coverage if your car is old and raise your deductible to lower your bill.
Tonight, the cost of insurance in overdrive. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
The beginning of March means the beginning of meteorological spring, which lasts all the way through May. So what are we expecting? Well, the Climate Prediction Center expects a warmer than normal spring for us here in Central Texas. But good news here, sort of, near normal rainfall, and near normal would be good. Average spring highs range from 73 in March to 80 by April and 87 here by May. And our average rainfall, it's actually our wettest season of the year. A little under 3 inches in March, 2.5 inches or so in April, but by far the wettest month of the year comes in May. Now online on KXAN.com, an in-depth look at this spring forecast, including whether we're expecting any improvements in the drought this spring. That's on KXAN.com right now. I'll take you through the next week here of March, including an abrupt temperature change in First Warning Weather.
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
Life-saving statins are some of the most prescribed drugs in America to treat cholesterol issues. Now there's a new alternative that could be a game changer for millions. NBC's Dr. John Torres with what you need to know.
Heart disease. It's the #1 killer in the nation. A major risk factor, high cholesterol that can block arteries, leading to heart attack and stroke. But the most common treatment, drugs called statins, can sometimes cause side effects. Dr. Tara Narula is a cardiologist for New York's Lenox Hill Hospital.
What are side effects that some people get from statins?
It's going to be those muscle or joint aches or pains, which are typically reversible when you stop the statin or even if you lower the dose.
But results from a study out today in the New England Journal of Medicine could give new hope to those who need another option. Researchers followed 14,000 patients with or at high risk for heart disease who couldn't tolerate statin side effects. Half got a placebo. The others, a daily dose of an FDA-approved pill called bempedoic acid. After nearly 3.5 years, the group taking bempedoic acid showed a drop in LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, 21% more than with placebo alone. But that's not all. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Steve Nissen led the study.
I would say that the most striking thing that we saw was the 23% reduction in heart attacks. That's a pretty big reduction.
Researchers call the side effects minimal and include risk of gout and gallstones. Without insurance, bempedoic acid, available under the brand name Nexletol, could cost more than $400 a month, and there's no generic option yet.
What are you going to be telling your patients next week if they come and ask you about this?
I will be excited to be able to tell them that there is another option. And I think patients are going to be very happy to have something else that they can go to when they can't tolerate statins.
One more promising new tool for prevention in the battle against heart disease. Dr. John Torres, NBC News.
Let's talk about the weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon. What a great weekend we had yesterday and today both.
Just perfect. We got the storms out of the way. We got the humidity out of the way too, and we just had gorgeous weather for the weekend.
Loved it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be quite as nice this week, but there's some good things to look forward to too.
Good.
I'll show you that. Let's take you outside first to our Lorenz and Lorenz 360 cam from Westlake Hills, where we're looking toward downtown. We're at 77 degrees right now after briefly reaching 80 here today. An update on the pollen count: ash, cedar, oak, and other trees are considered low. Grass is low as well. So we don't have any pollen counts in the medium or high category, but we have a lot of little ones in the low category right now. On clouds and radar, mostly clear skies. I expect the next several hours will stay mostly clear, but we're about to enter a pattern where every day has a pretty gray start to the day. I know we started with clouds and a little bit of fog here this morning. I think we're going to do that and then some here for tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So here's your Monday. Starts gray, maybe even a little bit of some spotty drizzle here. But by late morning and midday, the sun is out. And then the afternoon is mostly sunny. So yes, clouds and some areas of fog in the morning, but then it's gorgeously warm and bright for the afternoon. Mostly clear your Monday evening, and then let's do it all over again here for Tuesday morning. The clouds start us off, areas of fog and some sprinkles of drizzle, but then as we head into the afternoon, the sun comes out, and then those clouds come back as we head into Wednesday morning as well. So that's kind of the pattern we're going to be in as a result of the humidity on the increase, and we're going to feel muggy or humid here for the next few days. The humidity does drop a bit, though, later on Wednesday, and especially as we head into Friday. That's thanks to our next cold front. But before that next cold front comes, it's going to stay warm. Low to mid 80s here for the next several days. The heat peaks, say, Wednesday into Thursday with a high of 85. We should be closer to 71 this time of year, so it's almost a good 15 degrees warmer than normal for this time of year. Next storm system still working its way through the western states right now. As it does so, it's going to bring a cold front to central Texas on Friday. We're thinking morning or midday, with decent rainfall chances as well, both during the morning and even into Friday afternoon, too, before the rain mostly clears as we head into next Saturday. But that will bring a pattern change our way and also decent rainfall chances. I've lowered Thursday's rain chances to just 20%, but I've increased Friday's rain chances to about 50% now. So scattered coverage at least here for Friday. Then we've also added a very low rain chance here for next Sunday. Rainfall amounts have lowered a little bit, though, unfortunately, between a quarter and half an inch. Hopefully things will start to trend wetter later in the week. That cold front, though, on Friday does bring us a noticeable temperature drop from the mid 80s to the 70s and even 60s. Okay, that's not winter-like cold, but it is a noticeable change from what we're dealing with. Look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast and you can see how it looks. Morning clouds, afternoon sun Monday and Tuesday. Bit more in the way of clouds here as we head through the day on Wednesday. Thursday features some sunshine. Friday has our best chance of rain, and then it's that cooler air settling in for next weekend and beyond. That spring break week still looks a little cooler than normal.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
The early season stretch for Texas baseball sure had some highs, yes, as well as some serious lows, up and down so far, but a chance to win a big road series today in the rubber match to Fullerton, California. The Titans, obviously one of the most storied programs. Travis Staley on the mound, really laboring early. Bloop going to drop in front of Eric Kennedy. He would get his revenge, spoiler alert. That scores one. They would get 3 in the first inning. Here's that revenge we were speaking of. Eric Kennedy, the veteran, has been great this season. Hits off Kelly's, whatever that is, in Southern California, and Longhorns on the board. That was in the 5th. Here we go in the 9th. And it's the same score for Jack O'Dowd. No denim, but the clutch gene for Mr. O'Dowd. They would go up to extras we go. In the top of the 10, Peyton Powell gets the go-ahead knock. Cade O'Hara comes around to score. That would make it 4-3, which it still is in the 10th at our last check, as Fullerton was aiming to tie or go ahead. Texas looking to win the series. After that one goes final on the West Coast, back to Dish Falk. They go Tuesday against Sam Houston, Wednesday against Mercer. A couple midweek games. So let's get to some college hoops, and a very good one today. Number 1 Houston in action, last day of the regular season. Kendrick Davis from Memphis going to tie things at 65. No timeout with just seconds to go for Houston. Mainer's Jamal Shed. They call it wham there. We are Mainer Mustangs. Bang from distance. Jamal Shed, ice in his veins. A lot of clutch gene today. How about that? The Mustang ices things in Memphis. A big win for them to end the season. Elsewhere in the state, Texas Tech men's basketball has suspended head coach Mark Adams in relation to the use of, quote, an inappropriate, unacceptable, and racially insensitive comment last week, unquote. The Red Raiders will begin the Big 12 tournament Wednesday. All right, still to come, 3 points for Austin FC, and man, it was not easy. The sigh of relief for the Verde and Black. That's ahead. All right, welcome back to the inaugural ATX Open, wrapping up today over at Westwood Country Club. Some bigger names in the field, but it's 2 younger players competing for the singles title. A big crowd that's been there the last couple days for the final. Varvara Gracheva versus Marta Kostyuk, and the Ukrainian Kostyuk up 5-3 in the first set. How about the drop shot there to bring up set point? She would take it. Gracheva in the second, up 5-4, serving for the second set, but Kostyuk able to break with a little bit of power there on the forehand, knocking that one down. Later on, championship point, and the 20-year-old playing for some history. She's able to hold on. An emotional moment as that one goes out for her first WTA singles title. To soccer we go. After being on the wrong end of heartbreak in their season opener, Austin FC got back to what they're used to, emotionally zapping the opponent with a late winning goal. Austin FC versus Montreal a night ago, scoreless much of the Max Iarruti, I guess we'll get to him right now anyway, They had a lot of opportunities. Off the post, he went in the 80th minute after he checked in just a couple minutes before they would eventually score here in the 88th minute for the winner. John Gallagher, the assist, and a big 3 points for the Verde and Black.
We definitely had our opportunities to score a little bit earlier than we did, but when the chance came, Maxi took it, and I'm glad. I mean, we've shown time and time again through last year into this year that the goals will come. We just have to keep knocking on the door and keep going and keep believing, and this group is resilient, and I love the fact that we can go 80, 90 minutes and the fans still know that we're going to score a goal. Our players know that we're going to score a goal, so it's always good to have that mentality.
And back to baseball, as Jonathan and Roger both texted me. Baseball game now tied at 4 in the 10th inning.
Tied at 4. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll be right back with a final look at the forecast. Stay with us.